what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 1973 Buick Riviera. Up front is a 7.5 liter V8 and down below is a 3-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Buick Riviera because it is my first Riviera. 1973 is a very important year because it's the last year of this body style and kind of the beginning of the end where they started downsizing the Riviera. They started taking away luxury features throughout the oil crisis in the late 70s. And so this is kind of the final full-bore, full-size Riviera, a vehicle that was synonymous with the word luxury and often meant it in multiple situations. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that 455 cubic inch V8 under the hood. Well, that was the only engine offered here in this generation of Riviera that lasted from 1971 to 1973, a very short-lived era. Now, the engine was down on horsepower quite a bit. This makes 225, and almost every year in the 70s, it lost more and more power because, of course, of emissions. So 225 horsepower out of a 7.5 liter is not record-breaking, but, you know, at least it's still here today. Similarly, the 3-speed was the only transmission option for the Riviera. Even though there were trim levels that got like limited slip diffs and things like that, engine and transmission remain the same. However, it is rear-wheel drive, which I was a little surprised about, especially given the fact that, at least to me, it looks so similar to the Oldsmobile Toronado. I kind of half expected it to be front-wheel drive. This era, vehicles are starting to switch over to front-wheel drive like Cadillac and Oldsmobile had already done. But no, the Buick Riviera, rear-wheel drive, kind of a little bit of a shock. How does it feel to drive the 1973 Buick Riviera? It's so cool. First of all, the steering is incredibly overboosted. I mean, if I sneeze, I might do a U-turn. It's so easy to steer. The ride is nice and comfy. It's bouncy. It's exactly what you would expect out of a vehicle from this era. Visibility is wonderful because it's a 70s car and they didn't care about thick A-pillars. So overall, here on this Saturday morning, I am pleasantly enjoying all that the Buick Riviera has to offer in terms of driving experience. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have my speedometer, odometer, fuel temperature, and gear all in one big box. And I really like that. It's all self-contained, and I think it looks good. On the steering wheel, I don't get anything. I get the Buick logo and the horn, which still works. Off to the left, we have our climate control options. I love when they did all these different colors for venting and bi-level and things like that, as well as our headlight switches, rear defrost, and our top button. But very interesting 70s cars and 60s cars for that matter put it off to the left of the driver so the passenger has no access to it at all. On the door, we have our grab handle, power mirrors, power windows, and power seat adjustments. Kind of interesting down there. But then moving into the center, we have our clock, climate vent, a tiny little Jensen radio, trip set and volume, as well as, of course, our selector. Again, all of this is shaped towards the driver. This was a very personal vehicle, not only just because it was a two-door luxury car, but everything is angled towards the driver. It's all about me, 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 me. Down below, we do have a pull-out ashtray, which is nice to see, but then we get this additional container. Now, from what me and the owner are able to tell, this seems to be some type of either dealer add-on or rare option or something, but it is original to this car. It was from the original owner, and it has a little slide open, which is really cool, but something you don't see in all Rivieras. However, even though we do get a cool container, we don't get a cup holder, so it fails the big friggin' bottle test. Now, the seats have seen better days by far. However, they are still so much more comfortable than any modern seat. So even though these have been drugged through the trenches, they're still comfy, and you can't fight it. But yes, if you look at them too long, you might hear a, "Kill me!" So don't be alarmed. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, I've been told to get in on this side because this side has the most floor left. So we're in the back of the Riviera. Not wonderful. I don't love it. My head's hitting the ceiling. The seats are very, very cushy, but they're very high up. So, yeah, I don't love it. Beam me up, Scotty. Get me out of here. Let's hop into the back and talk about the trunk. All right, so this is of the era where you got 2 GM keys, circle key for the trunk, square key was for the ignition. Pop it up like that, and there you go. That is the Riviera's trunk. Obviously very, very large. 70s, 60s, 50s cars had giant trunks, and well, this is just another one. So very cool to see that in the back of the Riviera. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I love the look of the Riviera. First of all, this is known as the boat tail styling, and as you can see, it does have that nice rear end on it. That is so iconic. I always make the thumbnails of these videos the front end for consistency, but this is one of those cars where if I were to pick from my heart, I would show the back end of this car. I think it's so much more attractive and so cool looking. I really thoroughly enjoy it. However, with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a Buick Riviera from 1973? Well, first of all, it's been an absolutely wonderful experience. The ride has been nice. It's been so laid back, so chill, and just a pleasure to drive, really, truly. But I like looking at this car as a piece of history as well. The 1970s was one of the biggest shifts in the automotive industry ever. Still even here today, the hybrid EV era might rival it, but I really truly believe that the 70s were the most important era. I even have a full video of it on my channel if you'd like to check that out and learn more why. But the long and short of it is basically emission standards and safety standards started getting cracked down on. Part of it because of the government and Ralph Nader, but part of it because of the oil crisis. There were many things that played into it. But basically it neutered a lot of American vehicles in a way that we've never seen before. And so vehicles like this, personal luxury vehicles, started to get chopped up and, quite frankly, killed because they weren't fuel efficient, because they weren't economical, because they weren't really that safe. Although they're huge, and if you get in a rear-end collision, you'll feel it about 40 minutes later, they weren't that safe. And so 1972, they had to add 5-mile-an-hour bumpers. That's why this car has such large, chunky bumpers on it. So while, yes, this car is extremely luxurious, it's beautiful, it's elegant, it feels like someone actually gave a darn when they designed it, that was all coming to a shrieking halt the next model year in 1974, and they still made the Rivieras actually up until 1995, but it was different. It was never the same. It was never quite what this vehicle is. And so today, I'm happy to be driving a 1973 Riviera. This is before the candlelight was completely extinguished. What an awesome car. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Adam for letting me take out his Buick Riviera. Such a cool, awesome experience. Adam has been wonderful to work with. We're filming another one of his vehicles here today as well. So huge thank you to him. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.